Welcome to Dynamo Dynamics, winning goals to digital dominance. I'm your host, Danny Perry, and with me as always is my guy, Kai Peterson. And Kai, first, how you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Had a good weekend. Big news over here was the Super Bowl, and hey, what were your thoughts?
I was pretty happy that there wasn't a three-peat, but I mean, season's over, kind of sad. There won't be any American football on Sundays anymore, but room for more sports to watch on the TV, so I guess it is kind of bittersweet.
There you go. You found the silver lining. There are more sports to watch. You can pay attention to college basketball, the NBA, hockey, whatever you want right now, because the big NFL is not sucking all the air out of the room right now.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty good game, I guess, if you were an Eagles fan, like my friend George Bardisi of BVoIP. But congratulations, George. You'll never hear me say this on film again, but good job, Eagles. That's it. They dominated, though.
Yeah.
I mean, from the first minute, it was all defense that set the tone.
Yeah,
Sacks back to back, and then an interception, and it was basically over after that first score.
Mahomes he looked decently comfortable, but he couldn't get comfortable, and the Eagles did a good job at that. So, I mean,
They crushed them.
Yeah, it really...
That was the best defensive... Honestly, Kai, I think that was the best defensive game plan I've seen in any Super Bowl. I've never seen a defense just dominate to that degree.
Yeah.
Where it just dictated the whole... And to take a quarterback and an offense of that caliber completely out of it. I mean, they dominated.
It was pretty intense. Every time I'd see the Chiefs go out on the field with Mahomes, it was like I was almost expecting a sack or
Something.
thrown away pass due to a rush. So, I mean, it was definitely crazy.
It was. They got a couple of throwaway scores or garbage time scores, but not nearly as close as the final score indicated. And, congratulations, Eagles.
Yeah,
good job.
Props to them.
Good. I'm going to have to take a shower after this. But anyway, what else is going on? We have not a lot of news on the Dynamo front still, but we do have a full roster, but we still...
Yeah, we're still figuring out who's playing where. Ben Olsen did come out and say that earlier this morning, actually, he said that Jack McGlynn is taking over Hector Herrera's spot. So big shoes to fill there.
Indeed.
He's not expecting him to move into this role and have the same impact that Hector Herrera did, but he's basically the new guy in the midfield. So
that's a lot of responsibility, though, for a 21-year-old to come in and fill those shoes, especially. What's not really said or stated in that is that leadership void, because that was, I think, where Hector Herrera he galvanized that entire team with just his leadership from midfield. And I don't think a 21-year-old is going to be able to do that. So that's got to come from somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely from somewhere else. But Ben Olsen was also really praising him on his his personality on the field and off the field. So he said McGlynn's a guy that they fits perfect into the system. Very respectful young man, so that's good to hear. So there won't be any locker room issues with him, hopefully.
Nope.
But and then also another focal point was that he said our defense. I mean, last year our defense was pretty solid all year.
Rock solid.
We only got better all year defensively, and our offense was just hit or miss. If we won, it was really a 1-0 or only
2-1. It was
barely getting 2 goals most of the time. And he said the focus this year is offense. We got to score more goals. He wants Ponce to get at least 15 this year, which is, I think, a pretty solid target for him. He came in late last year. But
He did. I can't recall it specifically, but I guess he was injured for that earlier. And when he came in, you could see the danger that he presents. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious, but there was a little disconnect as far as the end product was concerned. But
we also last year we had so many rotations of who our striker was. It was like we had Kowalczyk up there sometimes.
Just everybody.
Yeah. So I think this year it's Ponce's our guy up top, and then I think Eliu's going to be left or right, and then we'll go from there. I know Dorsey will be on the right back on the right, but. Yeah, we'll see.
We shall see. So, like I said, that's a lot of pressure to put on a one guy, a 21-year-old. So there's got to be something else as far as from the leadership standpoint that comes through, and that the leaders emerge during times like this. So I think that they should be fine as long as the defense is solid.
Yeah.
You know, if they can continue where they left off last year from a defensive standpoint, then I think everything else will hopefully fall into place, especially. Well, we hope the scoring falls into place.
Yeah,
we need more improv.
A little bit more creativity will be great this year. Just getting better shot attempts. I think there are some times we had games where we had a lot of shots, but they were just outside the box and not high percentage. But you know, a young core could be a good thing. I mean, we've seen the Rockets this year; they've turned it around.
Yeah, they've been pretty fantastic. Well, the last week notwithstanding. They have been pretty fantastic. So not switching to basketball all of a sudden.
No, not switching to basketball, but the Rockets core is very young and they're playing great. Looks like a
They need one thing. They need scoring though as well, but not necessarily scoring just from anywhere. They need 3-point shooting. And
a consistent 3-point shot.
That's going to be that team is going to be impossible to stop.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, maybe we should start talking NBA, you know, because it's getting good. We had the big trade last week and trade deadline, and Anthony Davis taking off.
And he already got hurt.
First game out.
Yeah.
So, and Doncic has not played yet. I guess his debut is tonight. So we'll see. Look, but it already looks like the Lakers got the better end of that trade, right?
Oh, definitely.
Interesting stuff. We'll get more into NBA in the weeks ahead. But definitely focus on the Dynamo's season starting in a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
So it's less than 2 weeks away. 22nd, I believe it is. And so
12 days. Wow. We're ready.
We're ready. We're ready. Anything else interesting beyond? I know the big leagues were on. I know the Premier League anyway was on hiatus this week for all of the cup competitions that we. All right. Full disclosure, I didn't pay any attention to them because we're not in them. But Champions League is kicking back in.
Yeah, Champions League is tomorrow and Wednesday this week, and then the following week as well. So we'll have those knockout stages, but 2 legs, so that'll be exciting. And I think honestly the biggest game to watch is City and Real Madrid because past 2 years they've played each other. The winner of those games have won the Champions League. Yeah. City's been in pretty poor form this year, but they're getting Rodri back, the Ballon d'Or winner of last year. Mm-hmm. And so that's really going to spark up some...
was he really the Ballon d'Or winner?
That's what they say. Well, I think it's going to spark
Did he really win that award, Kai? I'm just asking.
That's what they say.
Was it bestowed upon him?
There's been a few Ballon d'Ors that are very questionable, and this is definitely one of them. But I think the fire from Real Madrid since Vinicius Jr. losing the Ballon d'Or or getting second place. I mean, he still had a great year. I think there's some tension.
Might feed the fire.
I think there's some tension between the teams for sure because I know Real Madrid's whole squad didn't even show up to the Ballon d'Or ceremony because they got word that Vinicius didn't win. So I think this will be a very exciting, hopefully a very exciting game, but I think it'll be very physical.
I'm picking Real Madrid. You heard it here first.
I think
vengeance is coming hard at Man City.
Real Madrid's kind of up and down right now too. City's form's not great, but just to oppose you, I'll go for City.
All right. You're gonna lose. No, I don't know. Who knows? That's why they play the game, right?
Yeah,
that's why they play the game. Any other matches that caught your attention, or we're just gonna see this? Well, it's got to be Bayern.
Yeah,
come on.
we got Bayern. We're playing away at Celtic, but that's a scary game for us right now. We have played very poorly in Champions League on away matches. I think we've only won 1 game away in the pod stage, so not too confident, but I'm just hoping that the team clicks.
A 0-0 nil draw, or don't go down by more, don't concede. Well, actually, they're away, so if they score a goal there, that could be really helpful for them.
We need a win and then coming back home would really, I think, solidify our spot, but we'll see. I know Celtic just got one of their young players back, so it'll be...
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. You seem more than a little bit nervous, though. I don't normally see you like this.
I'd rather play Arsenal than Celtic right now.
not.
Yeah, because these small
Because we have no players on the pitch, right?
y'all are injured,
Everybody
but
is hurt.
But also, I've noticed in this pod stage in Champions League, the smaller teams have such different play styles that the bigger clubs aren't used to that. Like when we played Feyenoord and we lost 3-0, they parked the bus from minute one, had 3 shots, 3 goals. It's kind of like it's a different. The whole game was played on their final third, and they defended for their life. And then when they got the counter,
bam, bam.
Yeah.
Bam. 3 shots, 3 goals is pretty impressive any way you look at it.
Well, one was a penalty. I mean, regardless, it's still crazy to see. We had I think 30 shots, some 17 on target. But I just playing those smaller clubs, it's difficult. I mean, we saw it over this weekend. Liverpool lost to
a minnow.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of the team, but they did. They're out of the FA Cup. I guess again, that's why they play the games, because you get the matchup of these big teams against someone you've never heard of, and every now and then you see something like what happened.
Yeah, it's the first place team in the Premier League playing the last place team in the championship. And yeah,
who would have thunk it?
Yeah, I think tactic wise, it's easier to play certain like Barcelona, Real Madrid, because you see them enough.
Right.
You have a game plan for them. Right. For smaller clubs, there's not.
There's no tape.
There's tape, but I mean, Celtic's a big club for sure, but Champions League wise, right now in the past few years have not been so. Definitely a little bit nervous away, but I think at home, I think we'll be fine. We really just need to score goals.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. Score more than the opponent. So, well, good deal. Anything else catch your fancy? We're coming up like a freight train on March Madness.
Yeah, I mean, March Madness, just looking forward to A&M playing well. We just beat Missouri over the weekend. Pretty good game. We won by 3, but we look pretty good. But a lot of teams look really good too.
Now,
so
they do. And there was an upset kind of a weekend, and I think you're going to see a couple more. You've got a couple more of those type of weekends where the top rankings are going to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the teams are. U of H is going to be there in one of the top seats, I believe.
Yeah.
And you've got the other traditional powers that are kind of turning it on now. So. It's anybody's game right now. There's no. I don't think there's a dominant team in college basketball that you're just saying that's the team this year. They're going to win this thing.
I mean, looking at Auburn, they look great, but then this weekend did they lose to Florida by 20, or was that?
Don't quote me on that.
I don't know for sure, but I know Auburn's lost a few games that they
shouldn't have.
Yeah,
or you wouldn't have expected them to.
But also the SEC this year in basketball, I think they're predicting 14 teams from the SEC out of 17 to make the tournament. So
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, how does that happen? I mean,
I'm not honestly not too sure. I know earlier in the season there were 10 or 12 teams ranked, or I know 3 weeks ago there were 6 or 7 out of the top 10 were all SEC teams. And then they got to play each other, but they're predicting at least 13 of them to go.
Well,
which is very different from back 5 years ago when it was the ACC, when it was Duke, North Carolina. But
it will be interesting to see how many Big 12 teams are projected to be in there in comparison to the SEC or ACC teams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good basketball conferences, more good basketball conferences than football.
Yeah, for sure.
In college sports. So that the 17 teams in the SEC
and with 13 or 14 going, it's
that's wild. That's wild. We'll see. We'll see if it holds up.
Yeah.
But we are mainly focused on the Dynamo. So any news where it's still a bit of a news scarcity, we're still waiting, but we'll definitely be ready for opening day when that comes. How are you guys feeling about your teams, your sports, whatever the case may be?
Yeah, if you have Champions League coming up tomorrow or Wednesday, let us know. Let us know who you're rooting for. Premier League, any league. We watched it all. Let us know in the comments. So
Indeed. So thankfully Arsenal get to sit out the round of 16 before the round of 16. So we'll hopefully get some players back and ready to roll. But like Kai said, let us know what you think in the comments about anything that's on your mind. The Super Bowl, did your team win? Were you happy with the outcome? What did you think about the halftime show? I thought it was awesome. Anything. And we will again congratulate George Bardisi and all of you Philadelphia Eagles fans on your win. on your Super Bowl victory. Enjoy it while it lasts. Next year can't come soon enough, but congratulations. And that's about it. Let us hit us up on our socials. Let us know what you're thinking, and
Yeah, we'll be here next week.
be here next week. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Dynamo Dynamics.